It is 91.7 WCUR in Westchester, and you are listening to the Rock and Roll Pizza Show. My name is Vinny. Our guest today is a band out of the Philadelphia area featuring Michael Arcangelo on vocals and guitar, Andy Horn on guitar and vocals, and Paul Buondano as well on drums. That band is Siravo. It's a great pleasure to have you.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yep, it is my pleasure indeed. And for those who aren't familiar with Siravo, how would you describe your musical style?
I would say that we're hard rock. We're pretty influenced by the band Alter Bridge.
Wow.
So I wouldn't say that we're metal because I have a clean voice, and that kind of takes us away from being metal. But our music is heavy. And then I sing pretty clean and high over that. So
I'm pretty soon one of these days we're going to be talking with Miles Kennedy one of these days, like opening for them and stuff.
I hope so, man. That would be great.
Hell, even with Slash's solo band, which features Miles Kennedy with the backup band, The Conspirators.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the most recent album, Living the Dream, I gotta say, it's a very phenomenal one. And it's great when Miles Kennedy does a lot of great stuff live. He even covers Guns N' Roses. He covers Velvet Revolver.
Yeah, we went to that show. Andy and I were at that show in October.
My favorite secret weapon is Todd Kearns.
Yeah.
That guy,
Todd Kearns.
The name that I don't think anyone would know. Todd Kearns. He's an insane singer.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's the bassist of that.
All right, I would like to talk about the Rock Allegiance Festival and the upcoming show at the MMRBQ, but first I would like to get into the studio album that you guys made, which was a 9-song album. Well, it's not to be confused with an EP, but it's kind of not really full length, but it's full length.
Right.
So it's still called The Restless and the Mad, and it's a concept album. What is the concept?
So the concept is that we all see the world through the lens of our own experiences.
Wow.
So that kind of ties into a theme of like perception is reality. You know, we're all in the same room right now, but we all might have a different impression of what's going on because of our mood, because of whatever else happened that day, because of what happened earlier in our lives. And that's sort of the common theme that runs through every song on this album. Yeah,
it kind of reminds me a lot of the theme from the Breakfast Clubs. Like, you see us as you want to see us, in the simplest terms and the most convenient definitions.
There you go.
Yeah, and one of my favorite parts on this record is your cover of the Chicago song 25 or 64, which, in lieu of horns, you managed to do a little bit of heavy guitar in the mix.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Why Chicago?
It was Paul's idea to do that one.
That song, I did that cover to pay homage to my father, who got me into rock and roll when I was younger. There's a lot of memories of me just, sitting on the back deck and like him blasting a Chicago album. And he's the one who bought me my first guitar, bought me my first drum set. So I thought that it would be a good idea to kind of just do that for him.
Yeah, in terms of the Chicago eras, the various styles, like the 70s had like more of that jazz fusion kind of deal, and in the 80s it's sort of veered into a more soft rock tone. Even after Peter Cetera left and replaced by Jason Scheff, it continued that trend with soft rock. Which style do you think of theirs is the better ones?
Probably the soft rock, I would say.
Yeah, like I do have a rather soft spot for some of the soft stuff. I love every single style of theirs. I think personally is very unique.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever thought about covering Alter Bridge, or will it sound too similar?
We've covered him live.
Yeah.
We've never recorded it and put it on a record. This is the first cover that we've recorded and put on one of our records.
Wow. Although Andy and I have been contemplating doing a cover of a Bee Gees song.
What is it, Staying Alive?
Yep.
Still alive.
I really think Mike's voice would complement that song pretty well.
Yeah. I get up there.
Maybe Very Good will give you a nice little call.
Yeah, there you go.
So about the Rock Allegiance 2018 festival, last October you played it. Was this your first time performing at a major festival?
Yeah, that was our first big festival, and it was a ton of fun. That day was like something out of a movie for us. It was very cool.
Yeah, and I was listening to that interview after the show with Brent Porsche and Sarah Kuda, or Sarah Parker from WMMR. Like, you were jumping around and climbing on stuff, so chances are you're probably going to do the same thing for the upcoming MMRBQ festival.
Yeah, that's a lot of Coop, our bass player. He's not with us right now, but he's all over the place. We never know what he's going to do on stage.
He actually said at our last practice that he was going to buy a trampoline for the show. So, anybody going to this show definitely needs to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, anything can happen.
Yeah,
Maybe springy shoes if he could pull it off.
Yeah. I don't think he needs it. He jumps higher than
Higher than
anyone I've
Mario,
ever
I
seen.
guess.
Yeah, right.
Luigi.
and we're all going to be just as surprised as everybody else too. So we have no idea.
We always are.
Yeah, I've heard of one particular moment during the festival that made the rounds on many music news outlets. That Shaggy from Insane Clown Posse tried to dropkick Fred Durst during Limp Bizkit's set, and he ended up getting escorted out by security. And I heard you witness the event. Could you give us a radio-friendly, first-hand account of said incident?
Sure. We were backstage.
We were on stage when that happened.
No. So we were on stage at some point during that song, I think.
Yeah.
But not when that happened. That was maybe like right before Limp Bizkit pulled everybody on stage. But yeah, Fred Durst kind of like called like 100 people up from the crowd, and we just rushed the stage from backstage and from the crowd and all that. But before that was that whole incident. We didn't have a great view of it, to be honest, because we were off on the other side of the stage.
Wow.
But we sort of saw the aftermath, and then we heard the crowd going crazy. So
that I gotta say, that is very funny. And last September, which is a month before Rock Allegiance, you were a local shot artist of the month, in which WMMR's afternoon host Jackson and his producer and MMR's new music director, who I just mentioned, Sarah Parker, picks one local artist per month and spins a song every Wednesday around 6:30 p.m. give or take. How long have you known these two?
Sarah and Jackson?
Yeah.
We go way back, and also with Brent Porsche. Brent Porsche saw us play at this like dive bar, I guess, in Pemberton, New Jersey, when we were still in high school, I think.
Yeah.
So our history with him goes back like probably 9 years, and then
even before 2011, when you first became a local shot,
right?
You featured on the Local Shots podcast.
Exactly, a little before that, and then through Brent, we sort of, I don't really remember how we met Sarah. I guess it was maybe through our manager.
Through Saul, yes.
Yeah, through our manager, Saul. Saul was good friends with Sarah, and maybe he's the one who introduced us. I think that's right. And then through Sarah, we met Jackson, and we've just had a great relationship going with them ever since.
And Jackson's producer before him, I think, was her name was Kristen. I think she currently does the morning show at Ben FM with Matt Cord.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's right.
For the upcoming show at the MMRBQ Saturday, May 18th at the BB&T Pavilion, tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com. It's great that you're sharing a stage with one hell of a lineup that includes, among others, Bad Wolves, Fozzy, who also played Rock Allegiance, the Glorious Sons, as well as Joan Jett and her Blackhearts, Struts, and the big headliners, Shinedown. What part of this year's MMRBQ lineup are you looking forward to meeting the most? I know it's going to be a tough question, but...
Yeah, that is a tough question, but I have to go with Shinedown.
Yeah, it's not tough for me. I got a tattoo of a Shinedown tattoo on my left arm, so
wow,
definitely them.
that would be a good one for Brent Smith or Zach Myers for you to show to them.
Yep,
absolutely.
I'd probably say Shinedown too.
Yes,
it's tough not to say Shinedown.
Yeah,
and I would have also said both. I would have said all of the above, including Joan Jett. Including Joan Jett. I mean, she is a pinnacle of a lot of great female rockers. I mean, if you look at many others like Dorothy Martin, Lizzie Hale, she's the epitome of
a legend.
Yes,
really a
legend.
I mean, they're all like all those big headliners are legends. It's insane to be in the same conversation with them, like for this bill. But Shinedown has just been such a major influence for us since the very beginning. When Paul and I met, we bonded over some bands that we liked, that we had in common. Shinedown was one of those bands, and they've influenced our writing style, my singing style, everything. So that's going to be like crazy to meet them.
Oh yeah. He's had there's also a lot of great covers that they do, including Simple Man, there's a little thing called Smith and Myers, which is a acoustic duo of the two.
I just saw that up in Sayreville in New Jersey.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
It was pretty good.
I think Shinedown, what's best for me, obviously I like their music, but seeing them live, which we've all seen them live a couple times, is like the connection they have with the audience. It's not just them playing songs to a big audience. They certainly endear themselves, and the audience is certainly a part of what they do. More so than any band I've seen. So I think that's something me personally I like to try to strive, for us to do, which is get the crowd involved in that way.
Yeah, and the Glorious Sons have a very similar manner, as they played at Johnny Brenda's last week, and then actually today, later on, they're going to be opening for the Flyers Penguins Stadium series.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that.
Huh.
Yeah, they're actually playing that in a little pre-game show that they're doing.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Bad Wolves, I'm also intrigued for them to see. That would be the first time I would see them. I mean, their cover of Zombie is nothing short of spectacular. I mean, I think they make it their own. You know, what do you think about?
Absolutely, they're insane.
Oh yeah. You know about the story behind that cover too, right? They were gonna get
Oh yeah, they were gonna get Dolores O'Riordan, the
yeah.
singer, to guest appear on it, but she died literally on the day they were set to record.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and there's also some great songs, including "Hear Me Now," featuring a stellar rocker named Diamante.
Yeah.
And "Remember When," which is about Tommy Vex's brother who was in prison and tried to kill him.
Wow.
It's like I've heard about that. It must be one mixed up childhood.
Yeah, seriously.
Do you have any siblings that?
I don't know about it in that way.
No, not in that way. But,
I do have 2 younger brothers, but actually, my middle brother was in Siravo. He started Siravo with me and Paul.
Mm-hmm.
This band has evolved so much over the years.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we're called Siravo, because my brother and I, my last name's Siravo, his last name is obviously also Siravo.
Yeah.
2/3 of us were Siravos.
and I came up with that idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't them. They were like, we need
Yeah.
a name. I was like, let's just name it Siravo since you guys are Siravo.
Yeah.
It's like one very original name.
Yeah, and then so we needed a name, a band name for a show that we were playing. We went with Siravo for that show, and then we were thinking down the line we'll change it, and we just never did. So then my brother eventually left the band. I took on a stage name. I used my middle name instead because, you know, the optics of that.
It's a fake middle name.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of many rockers use their middle names in the mix. You know.
Yeah.
I kind of get that little impulse there.
Yeah.
So if you go to their Facebook page, I mean, I watched one of the videos for Down. Like, it's funny, one of you was eating fried chicken, like literally every other shot. I heard it was based on a story of some sound guy giving a crap. I mean, it sounds very
exactly.
curious to me.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Sure,
so,
definitely.
So
At a venue that will remain nameless.
Of course.
In a city that will remain nameless.
I think people.
The place who must not be named, like Lord Voldemort.
We'll call him Voldemort.
Yeah, that's
Well,
a
we
good
can
name
do
for
that.
it. That's a good name
Voldemort
for
was
it.
our sound guy.
Yeah, Voldemort, the sound guy. He was just treating us like garbage the entire time. We were opening for a national act who was coming through the town we were in, and from the get-go, he was rushing us, disrespecting us, wouldn't look us in the eye, didn't want to listen to anything we had to say, whatever. So we're setting up for sound check, and he's like, "Are you guys ready? Hurry the up! You guys are nothing." And we were like, "Whoa, we're nothing? That's a little extreme. That's like a huge exaggeration." But so we kind of let it roll off our shoulder, but we knew like this guy could ruin our show because the sound engineers can control whether we as the band have a good night or not, whether we can hear ourselves, whether the crowd can hear us properly, all that. But the show was fine, went well, we played well, and then we were sitting down to write this record and kind of trying to come up with things to write about, and this came right to mind. So the video is part of that story. While the guy was working the soundboard, he was huddled over this bowl of chicken wings.
Wow.
So that's what, when we were coming up with the concept for the video, that's what we latched on to. We said, we should do something weird that ties into the story that people will kind of say, like, what's that about? So that's why one of us is dressed in a tank top and shorts to represent Voldemort.
or a gothed out version, you know?
Right, and that's why the person eating chicken wings is looking at us disdainfully or looking at the rest of the people in the video disdainfully or kind of looking off to the side and not paying attention.
So, like, and there were so many bands out there that literally the words said to their faces, like, there were bands like Black Sabbath that got, like, a bad rap when, they released their debut album. Even Rolling Stone even eviscerated their debut album, and over time it became one of the best metal albums of all time, one of the earliest, in fact.
Right.
Isn't that the legend with Led Zeppelin? Didn't someone apparently in their career said, like, you have a much chance to make it as a Led Zeppelin?
Yes.
That's the legend.
Elvis Presley said that.
Elvis Presley. And, I mean, people kind of said the same thing about Elvis. I mean, people were not too comfortable with just shaking your hips like this and gyrating like this.
Right.
They thought it was too sexual and inappropriate for television.
Right, exactly.
And a couple more things that I would like to say. Will we be seeing any upcoming shows before the MMRBQ?
Yes, actually we have one coming up in a couple weeks. March 5th at the Voltage Lounge. We'll be opening for Smile Empty Soul. There's a bunch of great bands on that bill. Tickets are $12.
Wow.
You can find them online, but it would be better if you came to us and bought them. You can DM us on Instagram for that, and we'll ship them to you, mail them to you, give them the will call, whatever you want. Yeah, that's going to be a fun show, March 5th.
Indeed, and you have a very stellar sound. I can see you touring nationwide within a year or two.
That's the plan.
That is the goal.
Right.
So one more thing before I let you go. Will you be kind enough to give us a station ID?
Hey, this is Mike.
This is Andy.
And this is Paul, and we're from Siravo.
And you're listening to 91.7 WCUR, Westchester, The Curve.
That was a really great pleasure seeing you, and we hope to see you at the MM Barbecue.
Thanks, man. We'll see you there.